Hey guys, this is a 2-in-1 video. I'm going to be showing you my trees, my Christmas trees, and one is not decorated, one is. But look, we got lights on one. I'm going to adjust it tomorrow because I feel like I need to. But let me kind of get into it. So, every year we decorate on Thanksgiving. This year was not the case because my dad retired after, he pulled down one bin and then, a Christmas stuff and, mine and Sam's stockings. And then, he cooked a bunch of stuff for Thanksgiving for him and my mom. He cleaned up the kitchen, we watched the Macy's parade, we always do, a bunch of stuff happened. Well, we ended up not really decorating. This year is a very special Christmas because in actually a little bit less than 2 weeks now, we don't have an exact date, but we do know that we're going to be in a 2-week time period from Wednesday. And my baby sister will be here. So all that kind of for those who don't know, we are getting another dog. Go watch. I made a whole video on it, so go watch that to know the full story. Cause the second part of this video is gonna be some things that very important things about being a dancer, because things you need to know and stuff And tomorrow I'm going to get more into my personal experience and stuff. Well, this year we ended up so then yesterday was the day after Thanksgiving, and basically we ended up not doing much. We ended up not really decorating too much. For us, decorating is moving a bunch of furniture around, moving things, pulling things out. And so a few years ago, actually a really long time ago, when I was I want to say 6 or 7 at the time, my parents got me a small Christmas tree. It is in here. And then they took me to a craft store, and we got I got to pick out a bunch of ornaments and stuff. And we spent a lot of money on it. I don't know how much though, because I was little, and at the time I didn't know anything about prices on money or anything. I knew you went to the store, you paid for things, and you bought things. Other than that, I was much younger at the time, so it was kind of at a point where I was starting to learn that sort of stuff. I was getting ready to, but at the time I didn't. And then Sam loves the tree, because, and I'll explain why. Well, you'll see in a second. And I'm gonna plug you in let me just plug you in just for safety. So a few years ago, I want to say it was less than 4, or might have been 4, I'm not sure. Or my parents got me a new one because my other one was kind of we had it for years. It was kind of old and stuff. Well, we basically ended up, what happened was that they got it and it ended up being smaller. And we didn't realize that. But that is smaller and kind of in a way fluffier. And you'll see, so one tree is decorated. What happened with that, today we were starting to decorate. We pulled out our big tree. It's not up yet. We're doing that tomorrow. One tree is not decorated because what I'm doing is, I'll explain in a sec. And we pulled out some a bunch of Christmas stuff. Some of it we put up today. So we're somewhat decorated. We moved furniture. Yesterday we put a few things away, and that was it. So then today we kind of had to rush it though with lunch and stuff because what happened was that at it was around 12:30ish, and we realized, oh, I lunch. Let's get lunch. So my dad went to pick up lunch, and he got back, and I had 10 minutes to eat lunch as much as I felt or just eat lunch and come back in my bedroom, get logged on to Zoom because I had dance. I ended up not doing the lyrical combo. I did warm up and stretch because I really was in the mood to decorate. I love decorating for Christmas. Unfortunately, we do not have a stocking picked out yet. We do have extra stockings in a bin. And our Elf on the Shelf came last night. I'm not saying the name of it because I named it after my crush. So literally my crush's name, Infinity 5010 or something. Yeah, I name everything after my crush. It's a real problem, but it's not a bad problem. And to me, it's not a bad problem. For my parents, they're literally the first thing that my mom said after, or I found out we were getting a dog. She went we are not naming your baby sister, which is the new little dog that we're getting. It's a girl, my baby sister. Or we are not naming her after your crush. And I'm okay, okay, fine. Because even Sam, literally Sam's middle name is my crush's name. And that was her number one rule. And then I didn't even get to pick the names, but it fits her very well, I feel like. I feel like it fits her perfectly. It's not the name I would have gone with, but the name I wanted was one of the names that my mom was no, we are not naming her that. I wanted to name her Pop Star because I'm training to be a pop star, and JoJo has a dog named Pop Star, so relates in many ways. And my mom's she doesn't hate the name, it's just no. She's just no, we're not doing. So we were going through bins today, and we pulled one out, and we went oh, my mini Christmas tree. And we forgot that we had both trees because we letting Bella's sister use my old one year. But we have both trees, so they're in my bedroom right now. And I'm going to show you one, which is the old one, and fully decorated. It is my Siwa tree. And then the other one is not decorated, and the reasoning is it's going to be a squad tree. And I printed out a bunch of squad photos and stuff, and I punched holes into them, and we have these hooks that we're gonna hang them on the tree with I am tomorrow, but we have to get to the hooks. So I'm gonna try to show you. Dun dun dun. Okay. I'm gonna try to give you a close look, but that's the best view I get. Sam is on the sleeping. Wait, one more thing. Tracks. I'm trying to give you you can kind of see, but not really. But there's a pillow up under there. Siwa pillow. But I love it. It turned out really good. We got a bunch of stuff. We got my Siwa slap bracelet, my Siwa watch, some Siwa ornaments. There's one that is my favorite, and the reasoning is because it has kind of there's a reasoning behind it, which is, and it's a little wooden stocking ornament that says JoJo in it, and it's an actual JoJo ornament thing, wooden one, and It's like one of those kits that you like get, and then you like color in a little wooden like ornament thing. Well, it's a JoJo one, and it has meaning behind it because Bella actually got it, I think, and she colored it in as a gift for me. And it looks really good, and I love it. So it's my favorite ornament just because Bella is part of like Bella's creation, if that makes sense. Because it makes so you can add your own creation to it. And it means a lot. But we got some JoJo slippers, a bunch of JoJo bows, about every JoJo bow I could find. And the thing is, I had a lot more, and now looking up there, it just looks boring and blank. So I'm gonna have to fix that. But the reasoning is because we have a bunch of lights somewhere, and we haven't gotten to them yet, but I wanted to really decorate both trees. So I ended up like pulling some lights, blue lights that I have up there. Tomorrow I'm gonna like adjust them on the smaller tree, which is the newer one. It can be the squad one. Because it makes sense because of the like, and then I had rainbow lights around here that like never really got used. Like they look good, but they didn't get used because I can only plug in like 2 things at a time in that area, and my computer has to be plugged in for dance, and also like my thing, it's like a plug-in thing that hooks up to my ring light with my Echo and my like lamp. So like it has to like those things, so it's an extension cord and stuff. Those things have to be plugged in. But I want to show them to you. Tomorrow I'm going to decorate the other one. It can be a squad tree. And I'm very excited about that because we found them today and we went like, oh yeah, now the thing is that in a little bit, my mom's brother is going to get to see them because this is going to be the room that he stays in because we have an extra bed in our house. We have like an extra bed, and that bed is the one that I'm gonna sleep in because of the fact that like it's put in my parents' bedroom, and so it made sense because like it's the sort of thing that I don't mind, and that way he has a whole room, even though his room is covered in like rainbow dance, like everything that I love. But I printed out a bunch of like squad stuff, like photos, and I'm gonna decorate. But this video, the second part of it, I'm gonna get to right now, which is things you need to know as a dancer. Like they're very important, like they're things that like you don't, like they're important for you to know, I feel like, and they're things that I learned eventually, and some of them, and then like there is a few in here, and by a few I mean like 1 or 2 that does not relate to me because it relates if you are a in-person dancer, and they're tips that you actually need to know. So the first one doesn't relate to me because I'm a Zoom dancer. I dance on Zoom with the ALDC, which is worldwide, which is bags. You generally only need like this is a tip that like I feel like you don't need, but it's very helpful if you know it, which is in like bags. Meaning because when you're an in-person dancer, you have a dance bag. Now the tip is to have smaller bags. That way you can keep things organized. Like that way you can keep things organized and stuff. But it's a great little tip if you want to stay organized because when you are an in-person dancer, your dance bag, you have a lot in it. And it's a great way to stay organized and stuff. then the second tip, this one is one that I learned, and I learned it the hard way, which is extra bobby pins. Extra bobby pins, and primarily an extra hair tie or something, because in dance you typically have, like, if you have long hair, if you have long hair, you have to, like, put it up usually. Like, usually it's a requirement, because if you don't have it up, then it will, like, fly in your face, and, like, it could, like, be a dangerous thing for everyone around you. And the thing is like, so I learned the hard way, because on having extra, like an extra hair tie and extra bobby pins near you that you can access easily, because the first few times I didn't, and like I don't even know how or what happened. I think I like didn't grab enough bobby pins one time or something, like a few times, but somehow I always ended up needing extras. So I learned, grab some extras, keep them near you. That way you can quickly put on another bobby pin if you need it. Although I do love that now, like my like curtain bangs have like grown out now, and so they're like a good thing. They're nice and grown out. Then the third tip. This is one that I feel like this one doesn't relate to me, but it's the other tip that doesn't relate to me. It relates if you are in person, which is, and make sure that like your dance bag is a good size. And I say this because of the fact that typically when you are a dancer, you have a lot that you need. And so like you have like a lot that you need in your dance bag, cause some studios, not all of them, but I feel like most studios require like a couple different like dance outfits per time, like for different classes and different things. So like you have like that in your bag, and then you have like a thing with like an extra hair tie and extra bobby pins, and then you have like all of your different dance shoes, and then sometimes you'll have like an extra like outfit to like change into like after dance in case you were wearing the one that you were wearing, like in case you spill something on it, like, because sometimes in acro, when you get sometimes in acro, there are tricks that involve water and stuff. So like you never know, like an extra outfit sometimes, like you have a lot in your dance bag typically, and so like you want to make sure your dance bag is a good size and can fit everything in there without making it look like a hot mess that's like just a bunch of like stuff like squished in. So yeah, the fourth tip, this is like something that as a dancer, this is something I learned. And unfortunately I learned it the hard way. Which is that sometimes if they ask you if you're doing like a jumps and turns class, and they ask you if you want to put shoes on, because you can buy like a thing called turning shoes, which I seriously need to look into at some point, like, because I don't have a pair, and for me, it's not like a requirement, but it is great because no matter if you're really good at turns or not, sometimes it's smart to just have them. Well, for me, this is where the tip comes in. I didn't put them on one day. Like one day I like had an option to put shoes on. I didn't put them on. And my feet, like I was a mess in jumps and turns. Like all because my feet were like sticking to the floor, because I'm the type of person and dancer where I do better with turns when I don't think about the turn. So like for me, what I do is when I'm messing around on my own timing and I'm just kind of messing around, I'll like randomly do turns, not really like putting too much thought into it or anything. When I'm in class, then I like put a little more thought into it to make sure that they land clean. But that day I should have put shoes on. So the tip is to put some shoes on, because you never know if your feet's gonna stick to the floor or what the case is. But it's a nice little tip that you don't always need, but it might help you sometimes. The next tip is, this is one that is not even a tip. This is just something that you generally need to know. Like if you are gonna be a dancer, if you have someone that you're watching this video to like help them out because they're a dancer or they're gonna be a dancer, or if you like whatever it is, this is something that you need, which is trust your teachers. Meaning, if your teachers are acting like you cannot trust them at all, find a new studio. Find a new teacher to do that. You gotta trust your teachers, because 100% you can't sit back and argue about your teachers or argue with your teachers about things, and because most likely, here's the thing, is that you gotta trust them because they have a plan. And just because they're making you do like for an example, if you think you're really advanced and they're making you do like very beginner stuff, you just gotta trust them. Because you gotta understand that they have a plan in their mind for you, and when you argue with them, it interrupts that plan sometimes, and it causes other things to happen. So you gotta trust your teachers because they know what they're doing. They're the professional ones. You gotta trust them and understand that they have a plan, whether they tell it to you or not. And that they're constantly switching that plan to whatever works for you. So for an example, and maybe the plan that they originally had doesn't work for you anymore. Like, if you're like too advanced for it, or like not advanced for it, or whatever. Or they're constantly having a plan that works for you. Then fine, I'm gonna do a couple more like things that you need to know as a dancer tomorrow. I'm really excited for tomorrow's video because I'm gonna be kind of giving you like my me, like if that makes sense, me as a dancer, and like what I do, what I don't do, and it's all like my experience. This is just dance, like in general. Like some tips are related specifically to in-person people, but most of them are just for anyone, whether you're in person or not. This is one that I would say and is a big tip, especially really a money-saving tip. So if you're like someone that like wants to buy like all the dance shoes, all the dance equipment, this is a tip that can save you some money, which is, I call it Walmart, Target, Amazon. Because a lot of the times, here's the thing, is that a lot of the time people or dancers go to like these fancy like places and like that are dance stores and stuff. and they spend a lot of money on like a pair of shoes or something, and thinking that they're 1,000 times better than the ones that like Walmart or Target or Amazon has. And like they think that like the Walmart and Target and Amazon ones like just don't work and that they're like horrible quality and stuff. Your truth and opinion is that at Walmart, Target, and Amazon have all of their dance stuff is good quality. Like all of it is actually stuff that like you can save money with and use. Yes, it's not gonna last as long as like I going out and spending like $100 on a pair of point shoes. But the thing is that you have to also look from the perspective that they're gonna last you a really long time. And chances are you're gonna grow out of them before they give up. And that's like the same thing is that like why spend, like I look at it from the perspective of like you kind of almost don't need to spend like $100 on a pair of point shoes when the chances are that they're gonna still be in great shape. Like when by the time you grow out of them, but you can save some money and just like order from like you can either like order from Amazon or go to Walmart or Target. Like there's some it like saves you some money. Like the fancy stuff, yes. Like I'm down for. I have one pair of like shoes that are actual, which are my Laducas, and they're from a dance store. And the reasoning is because I generally was looking it up, and like they're the same price. Like they're generally around the same price, like give or take $1 or two. And on like Walmart, Target, or Amazon, and also I didn't really see a ton on like Amazon or Walmart's website or Target's website. So the final few tips, like the final, we're getting near the end. This one is one that you generally need to know. It's when they give you a set time for dance. And for an example, like my Wednesday class starts at 4:15, and that is true. That set time, you have to be ready to go, ready to dance. You have to have, like, you have to be in your outfit that you're dancing in, ready to go at that time. And that's kind of like the same thing as a call time, means ready to go, ready to dance. Because if you don't, then you're going to be late for class. And you could get in trouble for it. I don't know. On Zoom, they don't. No one gets in trouble for being late for class, and that's also because of the fact that because a lot of the time, if someone is late, it's because they had like class at an in-person studio and they're doing this on the side, or like they had problems with internet and stuff like that. The next tip, this is one that like I truly take, and I really like this tip a lot, which is that to be a dancer is something that you have to understand, and most likely you have to be confident, and if you're not, you have to figure out ways to avoid other dancers. And I say this because dance is a competition, whether you're competing at a competition or not. Whether you're in class, even when you're in dance class, you're competing against everyone in that class. You're competing to be better than everyone in that class. They may be your friends, and I wasn't trying to put my middle finger up there. I was making a circle and stuff. But they may be your friends, but they're also your competition at the same time. Because everyone's there to be the best. Everyone's there to be better than everyone else. So chances are that someone, whether you're in class or at a competition, someone is most likely, well, not most likely, but there's chances that someone's going to try to psych you out. And you got to figure out to avoid that. So some tips that Abby gave us is, the first tip is she told us to, like if we're at a competition, run our dance a couple of times until we know it, until we know for fact we know it. And then she said the other tip is after that, put your hands over your face so you can't see what's going on around you, or go up against a wall and do this. And put your hands like this and stare at a wall. No one can psych you out that way. Peace out.